How is everybody doing? It's Matt here with the Yinvests Investments Group, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the Hot Stock Sunday list that we're going to go over real quick. If you want to join our chat room, it's in the description. If you have any questions, leave a comment about trading. If you want to get the updated videos right as we post them, make sure you subscribe and like the video. So let's get right into it here. I'm going to first be going over some of my top Hot Stock Sunday list swing trades. So let's get right into it. The first one I got on here is HCC. This one I was watching last week. Came back right here to this SMA line, and it bounced off the line, and now it has just sold off a tad, validated this SMA or this EMA line, this blue line, and it is starting to uptrend again. So if we see a continuation on this, we can see a possibly 3% almost to all the way to 7% at the top of the resistance here. So here we have the resistance up here at about 28.67 and the support line down here at about $25. So we have about 7% to around 4% loss. So it's decent ratio there. The second one I got on my list is ASNA. This is one I was watching all day, or all week basically. I had a beautiful bounce right off this SMA line, and now it's been uptrending for the past about 4 days. It has just retreated to this EMA blue line here, and it just validated it, and you see this bounce here. We can see expect an uptrend upwards of 4%. Even more, possibly up all the way back up to this other resistance here, possibly up to 20%. Depends on how it rolls. But that's a very nice uptrending stock. As you can see, it had a big push the beginning of the year, and now it's retreated and starting that uptrend again. So lots of area of profit to be made. This is one of my top ones for this week that I really like the pattern. Next one, I'm going DRNA. This is more of a smaller swing trade. It's been in this kind of up and down consolidation period for the past few weeks. It's holding right at this SMA line here. It's shown this repeated pattern. Down here we have the lows, the support down here at about 1150, around here 1150 to about 1170, around there. And then the resistance up here from about $13.70 to like about $14. We'll call it about right there. So if we see, I was hoping it would break today and yesterday, but it didn't. It's just kind of consolidating. The Thursday and Friday this week, the market was kind of just blah. It wasn't going anywhere. It was just sitting there. A lot of stuff was kind of just negative. So we could see, if we see an uptrend, this is 9% to, all the way up to 12%, possibly. So this is a nice, very nice one. The MACD down here is looking good. It's starting to curve back. But we haven't seen any green yet on this. The RSI is looking good as well. So this is a good one if it continues, but you never know. But hopefully the market's good this week, a little better than it was the last 2 days. The next one we got is CDR. This is another one I was hoping would break a little sooner, but it took a little longer with the market not being good this week. It's been in this nice kind of trend line pattern here, and I was hoping it was going to bounce around here, but it didn't. It took a little longer, but it's valid. This support right here, it's validated. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 or 6 times. You see how it kept bouncing right here at 480. It's a very good sign there. It's been bouncing, and now it's broken above, and then it's bouncing right on the SMA, above the SMA. So this one's got about 7% here, possibly more. As it usually shows, it pushes up past the previous resistance there each time it does it. So we can expect maybe 12%, 15% up to there possibly. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping it does, because this is a nice trending one too, just like ASNA is. Next one I got is RHT. This one we went over last week too. It's had a big sell-off from earnings, and it's starting to slowly come back up from its low there. So it's been in just a consolidation period for the past few days. Hopefully we break above this resistance here at 150, and we can see a push back to its previous high a few weeks ago, about 10%. A more slower moving one, but it's still good. Another few ones we got in here is IQ. Did push up the past week like we said, and then it did fall the last few days. So we could, if we see a break above this SMA and EMA, we could see a push back to the previous resistance up here at about 37.50 for about 10%, hopefully, if we see a push. Same thing with HUNA. It's basically the same stock. It's both Chinese stocks. They're just a little different, but they follow basically the same pattern. So we could see a push up about 12% on this too, possibly. We'll see what happens. Next one I got here is now those are all the ones that are possibly uptrending for the week, possibly. Now we're going to go over some of the pending reversals that I have on my list. First one I got is ESV. This is a nice pattern here. As you can see, it's got good highs and then higher lows. So the low here, but then higher low and a higher low. So we're seeing a nice pattern right at bounce on this SMA. We possibly could see a bounce right here, the SMA as well, for a bounce back up about 16%. You know, we'll see what happens. It's not guaranteed. You got to make sure you confirm before you buy in. But nice one. You got to watch out because earnings right here is coming up, and you never want to hold during earnings unless you know it's going to be a good earnings. Usually it's not, and it falls. And if you're in it and it falls, then you're screwed. Okay. You could hold it and wait until it comes back up, but nobody wants to do that when you could just sell and not be in it at all. So might want to be wary of that earnings coming up. Let's go over the next one, GALT. Another one just like ESV, right at that SMA line. I really like these patterns that just come back to the SMA because usually they do bounce, not always, but majority of the times they do. So we could see a bounce back up to the previous resistance here at $7 for 23%, or we could even see it back up to the previous high at $9.50 about here, which is 56%, which is pretty ambitious, but you never know. Okay, so you might want to just keep an eye on that one, see what happens. Another one we got here is ELGX. Just like GALT, it's right at that SMA line, about to bounce, but we want to make sure we confirm it first. Just another one to keep on your radar for that possible 25% push if we see that confirmation first. Another one, OSG. Another one that's right at the SMA. Really my favorite pattern. We could see a push up here, a possible 12%. If we get that confirmation again above that SMA line, and we see it bouncing and start trending up. As you can see, it bounced back here a few months ago, and it's bounced here. So this is a very good resistance line right here. So if we see that SMA push up, nice, 12%. Let's go over a few more here. CLNE, another one right at the SMA. Looking like it's going to push up, possible 16 to 40% if it continues. So we have a first resistance here at 330 and a second resistance around here at 370. So you got to watch out for that first resistance. I might want to take profits there and then wait for the confirmation if it continues up to that $384 mark. So another great one. Watch out for earnings. It's coming up here. Then we got BBX. This is a more just kind of a quick swing if you want to look at it that way. We have a resistance down here at about 880, a possible reversal here, bounce around here at about 917, possibly 930 for about 4%. A little less percentage wise, not as good as a pattern as I would like, but still it's an okay pattern. We're getting into some of the dirtier stocks here, if you want to call them that. CCXI is another one. Another one right at the SMA, possibly a nice bounce right here for about 60% to 13% if we see it come back to the previous high around 1380. Nice little push there if we see the confirmation. Gotta make sure you see the confirmation first, guys. Don't be trading when you don't see the confirmation. You don't know, it could just drop off here and come down here, and then you're out of money. ICD is another one, more volatile stock. Just to be wary of that. If we see it's trying to bounce here at around 370, we could see it come back all the way down to its previous low at about 360, 369 around here. So if we do see that, we could wait for the confirmation and wait for that uptrend from that bounce at 370 all the way back up to around 470 if we see the confirmation. One to look out for. Another one is CRR. Another one that's right at the SMA line. Possible about 7% here if we see the confirmation. But this one does have earnings coming up too, so you gotta watch out for that. So a couple of my hot stock Sunday picks for you guys. The ones I'm really gonna be focusing on is ASNA though. One, I really like the pattern. It's already bounced on that SMA. It's showing signs of an uptrend. It's pulled back, so it's a good time to buy in. Another one is DNRA. It's been consolidating there. Really hoping that it does push up above, and we can see that about 7% in previous times. It's only done that in about 4 days. 4 days, 10%. That's pretty good, guys. And then HCC, another one that's came up, pulled back, and it's showing signs again of an uptrend for about 3% to 6%. So that's a nice one that's already showing signs of an uptrend, and it's a good time to buy in. So those are really my favorite ones, including CDR, showing signs of that uptrend again. And we want to see that break. It's already broken above, so good time to buy in. Set your stop loss just below, and just wait it out. If you get stopped out, then that's what happens. The trade doesn't work out, but there's a lot of good trades coming up this week. Hopefully we see a hot market this week. Thursday and Friday was pretty crappy days, I have to admit, guys. Not much action. Just kind of consolidating days. If we take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial, we can see that we're approaching a peak here, possibly, and we could see a retreat all the way back down to 2400 or 24,000 down here to this previous low. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping we break above that, but you never know, guys. So we'll just keep that in mind. If you want to know more, leave a comment so I can comment, reply to you guys' comments, see what else you want to learn. Join the chat room if you want. It's in the description. It's totally free. And we'll see you guys soon for the next video. Thank you.